Well, the snow is melting, the sun is shining. It's a perfect day to test drive this red beauty. It's the new 2019 Volvo S60. And in a world of crossovers and utility vehicles, I'm excited when we get to drive a new premium luxury sedan. I'm not gonna lie, I love the looks of this new S60, especially in this red metallic paint. It looks hot. This is the R design model, so it gets a lot of blacked out trim. For instance, this black grille. Of course, all S60s get the signature Thor's hammer headlamps. These are active, so they turn when you turn the vehicle. Below that grille, you have black inserts as well. If you opt for the inscription model, you get more chrome instead of black. Onto the side, you have blacked out molding around the windows as well as the black mirror. This has the optional 19-inch wheels. Standard on the R Design are 18-inch, and on the Momentum is 17-inch wheels. The R Design also gets a sport chassis, which is stiffer in the springs and the shocks, but also it's lowered by about half an inch or about 12 millimeters. If you look at its competition like the BMW 3 Series, the Audi A4, Mercedes C-Class, or the Infiniti Q50, in my opinion, I think in terms of styling, this one is hard to beat. And I really like the rear of this S60. I think it's very stylish. That belt line just continues on right to the back here. You have these crescent-shaped standard LED tail lamps, but I think they're very proportional in size. The bottom, you have a pretty bulky, chunky rear valance, and that's completed with dual exhaust or exhaust finishers here. This is equipped with an automatic trunk, so just a slight little kick there and the trunk opens. It's not power operated, it's spring operated, so you do have to manually close it. But inside, ample amount of room. There's a 12-volt outlet. I have a camera bag here. I brought in a crate just to show you how much room and how deep it goes. So it goes very deep in the back. Also, I do most of the shopping in our household, so I like utility. So I love how they've integrated two small hooks on either side for your grocery bags. Here's one thing that might be small to some people, but I am a huge fan of it. Here's a button here, and there's a lock and a trunk icon here. If you press that, what happens is when you close the trunk, it locks the car and you can walk away. So you don't have to close the trunk and then go lock it. It's all done in one motion. The inside of this R Design is really slick, just like all the recent Volvos. It's that great Scandinavian design. So this R Design on the outside has a sporty look, and the inside, it gets a nice sporty look as well. You have this mesh on the door panels, and then this metal trim of this mesh motif. It's really nice. You have R Design on the headrest. There's an R Design steering wheel. In behind the steering wheel, a 12.3-inch digital cluster that gives you everything you need in your gauge pack, except it's digital. And you can insert your navigation or your entertainment information in the middle. And then onto the center Sensus infotainment system. It's the same one that's found in all the current products. We just looked at it in the new V60 Cross Country. So what they've done on this one is they've made it quicker, faster processor. So it's got that home button and you just swipe side to side or up and down, very intuitive. And you can notice that it is a marked difference of how much faster it is. Before, it was definitely a little bit laggy. So that's a lot better. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard equipment on this one. Then in the center, you have your shifter, you have your start stop, which is not a button, it's actually a turning knob, and then your park brake and your drive mode selector. And I even like just the trim here, this metal trim that when you open it up, it has your 12-volt outlet and space for 2 drinks, and you push this one forward and you have this tiny little area maybe for your key fob if you want to place it in there. By the way, this is also available with a sports fob, and what that is, it's like a simplified version of the key fob, except it's totally sealed. So if you're going to be doing some outdoor activities, for instance, and you might have a chance of getting it wet, No issue with that sport fob. The only thing though is that since it's fully sealed, there's no way to replace the batteries. So when they do wear out, you have to replace the fob. The R Design gets special R Design seats. These are leather trimmed with cloth as well. And what I love is that they have these cushion extenders basically for your thigh extenders, but they are power operated. But also they have on the sides of them, they have these kind of side bolsters for your thighs. You know, a lot of seats have the side bolsters for your torso, but not so much on the side. And that makes a huge difference. This R Design is pretty well loaded. So it has the climate package for one, and that's $1,250. What does that give you? It gives you a heated steering wheel, and you have different settings on it, and it gets hot, which is awesome. And you get a heated aqua blade, so basically a heated windshield wiper system so it doesn't frost up, and heated back seats. This also has, for $1,150, a comprehensive head-up display. It has the Vision package, which is $1,800 Canadian, and that gives you automatic parking, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot warning, and a 360-degree camera. Now, one thing that I wish that Volvo would do, not just on this, but all their products, if you have that 360 camera, is to be able to display that at the same time as the rear view camera, like so many other vehicles can. You have all this real estate, and I just hate having to switch from 360 to rear view or side view. I like to see it all at once. So maybe that's something they could do in the future. This also has the $1,500 convenience package, which gives you the home link, so the automatic garage door built into the rear view mirror, and also the pilot assist semi-autonomous driving system, which we'll get to when we get driving. And the last package this has for $3,750 is the BMW stereo system, or Bowers & Wilkins. And it does sound good. So if you're not an extreme audiophile, that may be something that you don't want to tick and save yourself almost $4,000. In the back, you sit down actually fairly low, which gives you a lot of headroom. The seat is adjusted to where probably a 5'11" person would be sitting, and lots of knee room and a lot of toe room as well. You do have a hump in the middle though, so not really convenient for middle passengers, but I had the kids in here for both the full-size car seat and the booster, no problem. This does have individual climate controls for the rear passengers as well. It has this nice fold down retractable drink holder. It has a little tray and small little storage compartment. Speaking of storage, I forgot to mention up front in that middle console, that area is pretty small. You can't fit a lot in that middle storage area, but what makes up for it is the glove box. It's pretty big and it's cooled. Perfect for my chips, salsa, and sour cream. There are currently two versions of the S60. There's the T5, which is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder, puts out 250 horsepower, and then there's the T6 that we're driving here, and it's a turbo and supercharged 4-cylinder, and it puts out 316 horsepower. They're both matched to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The T6, however, comes in all-wheel drive, whereas the T5 is only front-wheel drive. Along with the 300 horsepower, you get almost the same amount of torque at 295 pound-feet. Now, I'm a big fan of this class of vehicle, kind of the compact, mid-size sports sedan. So the competitors would be naturally the BMW 3 Series, the Audi A4, the Mercedes C-Class. And I've previously owned a BMW 3 Series, and I loved it, mainly because I had the 335 Xi Coupe. It had the inline twin-turbo 6-cylinder. And yeah, it's pretty hard to beat that 6-cylinder. That is what you're not going to get if you get into an S60. There is, however, a more performance-oriented or a more powerful version coming soon with the T8, the twin-engine T8. So you're going to get even more power because you get that hybrid power. And that's going to top out at 400 horsepower. If you're looking for a manual transmission, well, you're not going to find it on the S60, but you're not going to find it on most other vehicles nowadays. So if we take our drive selector and we're going to put it into dynamic mode, instantly. We've kicked down a gear. If we put a foot into it, it kicks down a lot faster. The throttle response is quicker. One thing I do notice when I put it into dynamic, not only does the transmission change, but also the steering. It definitely gets a little bit harder, which I'm a fan of. I'm finding that in comfort mode, it's a little too easy for me. If it were me, I would actually like it to be a little bit more stiff, even in dynamic mode, but I'll take it. Here's another interesting fact of this new Volvo. This is the first one to be built at their new plant in South Carolina. Volvo has said that this is the best handling Volvo to date. And this is the first one they've used not just simulation, but they've created a simulator to tune this vehicle even before an actual real model was done. And that wasn't just to save money, but it just allowed them to do more in the time that they had, giving you more research and development. Okay, from a stop, let's feel it. Around the corner. Oh yeah. And we're on winter tires right now. This thing's a little rocket. It is unfortunate you can't get it with a manual though. We mentioned that this has the $1,500 convenience package, which gives you the pilot assist system. Excuse the noise, we're on some real hard pavement going over a bridge right now. So let's turn on pilot assist. So we will select that. And what this is, it's a semi-autonomous driving system. Right now, we are just in cruise, and our hands are off the wheel, and it's fully controlling the vehicle. It's scanning the road in front of us. It's using cameras, it's using radar, coming up to a slower vehicle right now, and it's automatically slowing down. If all the conditions are met, this will basically do it indefinitely. It's not a feature that everyone's going to use, but if you're doing heavy, long highway commutes all the time, I highly recommend it, especially for $1,500. The S60 has some heavy competition in its class. And even though I'm a big fan of the 3 Series and a former owner, I think Volvo has done enough for sure to be competitive in this ultra competitive class. So if you're in the market for a premium sports sedan, this S60 should definitely be on your list without hesitation. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more everyday reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.